Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you one and all. Welcome to today. Today is Tuesday, the 5th of May 2026, and I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you to today's show. Thank you so much for waking up to keep us company. For those of you joining also on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, or our website, cbc.bb, a very special good morning to you as well. Have a terrific today. Share the show, share the love. And I always remind you, if you know of something or someone who has a story to tell, then you tell us about it, because we'll be happy to share that story with the world. And you can tell us simply by sending us an email, the information by email. That email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And to you, we say thanks for sharing in that effort as well. Today being Tuesday, the 5th of May, it's 11 plus day, common interest examination day, and so just under 2,800 young people, our nation's beautiful little people, are heading to schools today. That means the 21 secondary schools are closed so that they can facilitate the execution of today's examination. But to all of you little ones, you know everything that you need to know. Have faith and trust in yourself. God will protect you all the way through. Indeed, and so just see this as just another day to do a test. And so I wish you all well as you head into the examination centers today for your 11 plus. It's a moment in time to be remembered, but it's not a moment in time that changes you completely. So remember, there are other opportunities that are straight ahead of you. So don't you worry about today. Just do your best, and the best will attend you. So to all of you little ones, wishing you well. Morning, Rhonda. Have a terrific day as well. She sends love to everyone everywhere. Also, I want to remind you that next week, Wednesday, the invitation was issued to you before. We reminded you of it. I'll remind you again today. Next week, Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the Bethel Methodist Church on Bay Street, you are invited to the 18th annual Sarah Ann Memorial Lectures, Sarah Ann Gill Memorial Lecture, with a big theme. We're looking at Methodism and the thoughts of John Wesley about slavery in a nutshell. But the man who's going to talk about that will talk to me a little bit more about that in just a moment. But certainly I want to encourage all of you to make time to come to the Bethel Methodist Church next week, Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock it starts. I suggest you get there early. 7 o'clock it starts. I suggest you get there early. Again, I suggest you get there early. Hold your spot and be prepared to be informed, literally informed. And so I can't wait to see you all there at Bethel Methodist Church on Wednesday coming, not tomorrow, Wednesday next week, for the Sarah Ann Gill Memorial Lecture. Coming up today in our Conversations on CARICOM, we're taking a look at the role of the Secretary General of CARICOM and reflecting on the past contributions of Secretaries General over time. And are you curious about being an illustrator and author of children's book? Well, there's an activity coming up very, very shortly, and so the people behind that will sit with us to help you answer that curiosity. Also, Family Fest 2026 is almost upon us, and so the organizers will sit with us as we take a look at what to expect this year. This Thursday, Q in the Community will be extra special, extra special. And so the folks who are sponsoring this week's Q in the Community will join me, and we'll tell you why it will be extra special this week. And the Dean's annual lecture, part of the St. Michael's Cathedral activities, will be on next week, and they will tell us what to expect in just a little while when they sit here with me on Morning Barbados. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, we begin our Conversations on CARICOM.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We the best music.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook.
Please, please,
This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1, The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's time for today's conversation on CARICOM. Always we have these conversations with Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishong. Ambassador, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson.
I thought we should today look at the whole role of the how CARICOM is structured like and the role of the Secretary General. Where can we start on this? How can you help us?
Yes, but even before, Sarah Ann Gill Memorial Lecture.
Yes.
Because I will be that lecturer next week, Wednesday. And I'm really looking forward to sharing this information, especially about John Wesley. Anyhow, but we're here to talk. We're here to talk CARICOM.
Yes.
Yes, I thought that in light of some of the interest around the region about the office of Secretary General of CARICOM and the appointment and reappointment of the current Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett, it'd be good for us to have a look at this institution of the Secretary General. And so I brought with me my CARICOM Bible. This is the Revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. And truth be told, the Secretariat is like the engine room of CARICOM. That is the institution that really drives CARICOM. And of course, the Secretariat is established in Georgetown, Guyana, although we do have a significant component of it here in Barbados, the CSME unit. But as the revised treaty says, and I'll just quote, Article 23, the Secretariat shall be the principal administrative organ of the community. It shall comprise a Secretary General and such other staff as the community may require. So the Secretariat in total, it has staff positions for approximately 300 persons, but that team is led by the Secretary General. And Article 24 says, the Secretary General shall be the Chief Executive Officer of the community and shall perform the following functions: represent the community, develop decisions of the organs of the community into implementable proposals, identify and mobilize external resources to implement decisions at the regional level, and undertake studies and develop decisions on relevant issues into implementable proposals, implement as mandated decisions at the regional level, monitor and report on implementation of community decisions, and very importantly, initiate or develop proposals for consideration and decision by competent organs in order to achieve community objectives. So those are the functions of the Secretary General, very important functions, and the Secretary General doesn't have to do these functions himself or herself.
Yes.
They do have, as I said, there's a full complement of staff, somewhere in the vicinity of 300, but very importantly, there's a Deputy Secretary General, and there are several Assistant Secretaries General, There's also the General Counsel. There is different officers, the Chef de Cabinet. So the Secretary General really leads a team that is so critical to everything that CARICOM does, because even though the Secretary General and her team don't have the power to impose anything, they don't have the power to impose anything on the member states. However, to the extent that the member states respect and rely on the competence and vision of the Secretary General and her team, then they have tremendous influence. Because as you would have heard, they have the power, for example, to introduce proposals.
Yes.
And they are the ones who do the research. They are the ones who produce the position papers. And so they have the power to exert a lot of influence on member states, provided the member states have, have confidence in them. And I think it is fair to say that the Secretaries General of CARICOM, from the very outset, from 1968, even before CARICOM, and we started with CARIFTA, from the very outset, Fred Cozier, the very first one, right through to number 8, Dr. Carla Barnett. They have done tremendous work. They have not only kept CARICOM alive, but they have caused CARICOM to thrive and to develop over the decades.
CARICOM is marching towards its 53rd anniversary, and that position is not a decision to fill that position. The candidate is not taken lightly at all. So let's look back. You started with Fred Cozier, who is Barbadian, by the way, and who assumed that position in 1968.
Yes, in 1968, you remember Mr. Barrow, Forbes Burnham, then they were joined by Mr. Veer Bird, and they launched CARIFTA, the Caribbean Free Trade Association. And back then, they had established something called the Caribbean Commonwealth Regional Secretariat. And they had decided that they were going to establish the secretariat in Guyana. And the first person appointed to that post was a Barbadian public servant and diplomat, Mr. Fred Cozier. Mr. Cozier was like a contemporary of Errol Barrow, born in 1920. So he was one of the veteran Barbadian public servants, one of the first permanent secretaries. In fact, he was permanent secretary to the Premier, and when Barbados became independent in '66, he was the person appointed PS in the new Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because we didn't have a Ministry of Foreign Affairs before we became independent. So he was charged with building out the new Foreign Service, and so he did so between 66, 68, then he was seconded to CARIFTA to actually construct the CARIFTA Secretariat in Guyana. He lasted until 1970. I think he suffered from ill health, and he gave way to the most legendary of the Secretaries General, and I refer to Mr. William Dimas. Mr. William Dimas is the Secretary General. If you have to choose one who was really instrumental in constructing this regional integration movement, William Dimas, because he took us from CARIFTA to CARICOM. And he was a brilliant developmental economist. In fact, back in 1965, he had published a book called The Economics of Development in Small Countries, with special reference to the Caribbean. So he came to the job with already well-formulated ideas about what was required to build this regional economy. And he played a very critical role in steering us from CARIFTA to CARICOM. He played a very critical role in getting that unity and that cohesion among these very powerful prime ministers. But by 1974, he served one term, from 70 to 74. And then he said farewell, having put the foundation in place, and he went on to become president of the Caribbean Development Bank.
Yes.
So he then gave way to another titan, Mr. Alistair McIntyre.
I want to come to him in just a moment. And I'm glad you're laying it out in the way that you are, simply to prove to a lot of people that the appointment of the Secretary General is not a fly-by-night activity. These are people who are competent and capable to be able to take up the responsibilities as outlined in their job description to do do. But I want to take a break. When we come back, we'll take you into the rest of how the CARICOM has developed and how the Secretaries Generals have played a significant role in the continuity of what we now celebrate as 53 years of CARICOM. Back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
In today's conversations on CARICOM, we're looking at the role of the CARICOM Secretary General, the formation of CARICOM, and the responsibilities that flow therefrom on appointment. But a little later on, we look at what else, how do we go about selecting the CARICOM Secretaries General. But we've just started a list of some outstanding and profound CARICOM Secretaries General who we've known over the years, and we were at Sir Alistair McIntyre.
Yeah, he came in 74. He came directly from the University of the West Indies. He was the director of the Institute for Social and Economic Research. So he was a brilliant scholar. But he came at a very difficult time. 74, he came at the time of the oil crisis, economic disarray. And unfortunately, in those circumstances, these powerful prime ministers could not agree. Dr. Williams, Forbes Burnham, Michael Manley, Mr. Barrow, and so Sir Alistair had it rough. In fact, during his tenure, there was no heads of government conference. So he resigned. He resigned in 1977. It was a very difficult time in CARICOM, and in fact, there were questions as to whether this new institution would actually survive. And so then there was an interregnum. There was his deputy served as acting, a Guyanese ambassador, Joseph Tyndall, but he could not be appointed full-fledged SG because there is a kind of convention in CARICOM that because the secretariat is located in Guyana, that no Guyanese will hold the post of Secretary General. So it took them some time, about 15 months, because the heads were not meeting, and it is the heads who really have to appoint the SG, right? And finally, by round-robin decision, although they didn't meet, by round-robin decision, they decided that Dr. Curly King of Barbados and of the CDB would be the next Secretary General. So Dr. King now had to come and kind of mend a very fractured organization. The heads of government did not meet for 7 years, right? So Dr. King had to come and very skillfully and finally, through his diplomatic efforts, he was able to pull off a heads of government conference in 1982 in Jamaica. But Dr. King is credited with bringing managerial expertise to the CARICOM Secretariat, introducing modern techniques of management. In fact, he was the one who computerized the CARICOM Secretariat, introduced, training for members of the staff and so forth. So he was really a healing person, kind of consolidating the work that Mr. Dimas had done earlier on. And he too, he lasted one term. His term ended in 1983. In 1983, July, at the Heads of Government Conference in July. And incidentally, he has to be credited with being this SG who got the heads of government to agree that this business about not meeting will not happen again. He got them to agree to an annual heads of government conference. But anyhow, in July he gave way, in July 83, he gave way to Mr. Roderick Rainford. Now, Mr. Rainford had the misfortune, because he assumes office in July 83. What happens in October 1983?
Oh,
the Grenada invasion, right? And so he had the misfortune to preside over, there was this special emergency meeting in Trinidad after Maurice Bishop and them had been assassinated. Remember, the OECS countries, Jamaica and Barbados, had secretly agreed with the Americans to do this invasion, and conveniently neglected to inform the other territories at that special emergency meeting in Trinidad. And so that caused great dissension in CARICOM. So once again, the future of CARICOM was threatened. But to Dr. Rainford's credit, he was really able to hold things together. And once again, he played a kind of healing role and a developmental role. And he took us from 83 to 1992 through the Grenada crisis, the aftermath. And he took us right up to a very important meeting in CARICOM. The 1989 Grenada Heads of Government Conference that produced the Grand Aunts Declaration. And of course, by then, it was becoming clear that, globalization had taken root. There was fear that the Caribbean would become marginalized. Things were moving so rapidly. So by 1989, the heads took some very important decisions at Grand Aunts. They call it the Grand Aunts Declaration. And it is that declaration that led to the appointment of the West Indian Commission. I don't know if our viewers remember the famous West Indian Commission. It led to the idea of the developing the CARICOM single market and single economy. And so Dr. Rainford served for 2 terms. Hitherto, they had all been serving one term, but he actually started, I guess, what became something of a tradition of serving for more than 1 term. He served for 2 terms, and then he gave way to Mr. Edwin Carrington, who subsequently became Sir Edwin Carrington. And he has the distinction of being the longest-serving SG of CARICOM. He served for 18 years, so effectively some four terms. So obviously the heads had great confidence in him that he was reappointed so many times. But he then had the distinction of 1992, he came into office, presented with the report of the West Indian Commission. So he then had the important duty of establishing the CSME, establishing the Caribbean Court of Justice, doing some very important work to make CARICOM the very well fleshed out and developed entity that it is today. After he served for 18 years, again there was a brief interregnum that is very relevant to Barbados, because his deputy Ambassador Lolita Applewhite, she stepped up and she served as interim Secretary General for about 1 year before they were able to appoint a successor to Sir Edwin, and that was Ambassador Irwin LaRocque of Dominica. And he had to hold the ship together at a very difficult time, and he served for 2 terms as well. He served right up to 2021, and but he did very important work too. He created the first CARICOM strategic plan. It was under his tenure that we started the reparations campaign. He dealt with COVID. He had to take CARICOM through the COVID period. Under his tenure, some important CARICOM institutions were developed. Very importantly, towards the end of his tenure, we were able to bring the private sector on board with the CARICOM private sector organization. After 2 terms, he then gave way to the incumbent, Dr. Carla Barnett, and she has been steering the ship since 2021. I would say that she has had the distinction, for example, the holy grail of CARICOM was always the free movement. Well, that finally happened under her tenure. And for free movement, I think under her tenure we can say that the outreach to Africa has taken place, the expansion of skills categories. So she has done very important work as well, and now her first term is coming to an end, and I would say ever since Roderick Rainford, we have had this tradition now of being reappointed, and so this year at the Heads of Government Conference in St. Kitts, the heads of government made a decision to reappoint her, and we know that there's now been some pushback from Trinidad and Tobago. So yes.
But briefly, how does one appoint the Secretary General? What's the process there?
Okay, well, let me take us to the Bible again.
Yes.
So we get it, chapter and verse, right? So the Secretary General, this is Article 24, the Secretary General shall be appointed by the conference. Now the conference is the meeting of the heads of government, shall be appointed by the conference on the recommendation of the Community Council. The Community Council is the council just below the heads of government. Those are ministers with responsibility for CARICOM. So on the recommendation of the Community Council for a term not exceeding 5 years and may be reappointed by the conference. So the first appointment, the Community Council has to make the recommendation to the heads, and then the heads vote, and that's the first appointment. But in terms of the reappointment, the Community Council doesn't come into it. The reappointment is done by the heads, right? And so how do the heads vote on this? Well, Article 28, voting in the conference. The conference shall take decisions by an affirmative vote of all its members, and such decisions shall be binding. For the purpose of this article, abstentions shall not be construed as, so everybody is supposed to agree on it. However, if there are some member states that abstain, abstentions shall not be construed as impairing the validity of decisions of the conference, provided that the member states constituting 3/4 of the membership of the community vote in favor of such decisions. So you can have abstentions. That will not impair the unanimity, provided at least 3/4 of the members vote. Omission by a member state to participate in the vote shall be deemed an abstention within the meaning of this paragraph. So if a member state does not participate, does not show up, is not present, then that omission is treated like an abstention and will not impair the vote. And finally, just to give you completion, So that's the revised treaty, but then the heads of government produce rules of procedure for meetings of the conference. And because this issue of somebody representing the head of government has come up, so one of the rules says representation at meetings of the conference. Each member state shall be represented at meetings of the conference by its head of government. If a head of government is unable to attend a meeting of the conference, he or she may designate a minister or other person to represent him or her at any meeting of the conference. Any person designated to represent a head of government at a meeting of the conference shall be accredited with full powers of representation, which shall be submitted to the Secretary General by the ministry responsible for foreign affairs prior to the commencement of the meeting. So yes, a head of state can say, let this minister represent me, but they have to do that designation prior to the meeting, and their Ministry of Foreign Affairs has to present a document of full powers. That's a document conferring on that minister the full powers of the head of state. So that's the procedure.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But now you have a clearer understanding of how it works, how CARICOM works, how the procedures of appointment for the Secretary General works. And I hope you have a clarity on how important that role of Secretary General is, and celebrate the fact that over those years, the 53 years of CARICOM, we have had stellar, outstanding representation by our Secretaries General. And so we continue to sit and wait and give Carla Barnett, Dr. Carla Barnett, our full support as members of CARICOM on her reappointment. Thank you so very much, Ambassador.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're very welcome. Morning, Barbados breaks here. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning.
Yes, well, hopefully that will
Morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damian Best as they review the action, the goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday night.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
23 now to go to 7 o'clock. Who hasn't dreamt of being able to draw, to have their drawing come alive through illustration? Or who hasn't yet dreamt of being an author themselves? We've been doing so much writing over time in the Caribbean, and it's amazing the body of work that has been produced by Caribbean people. But what about the body of work produced for Caribbean children, telling the stories of Caribbean children as well by the Caribbean person? And so we're joined this morning by Cherise Harris, who is the founder of Children's Books Illustrator and Author Showcase, because there's a showcase coming up. We want you to know about it. Good morning to you, Cherise.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about this showcase. When is it, and what is it about?
It's happening this Friday, and it is a presentation. We're going to have 3 presenters at the showcase. We're going to have Yolanda T. Marshall. She's an author coming in from Canada. We're going to have Ruth Amanda, who is an author and illustrator living in Barbados. And I will also be one of the presenters, and I'm an author, illustrator, and occasional puppet maker. And we're going to have the presentation for invited primary schools.
What's the purpose of the showcase?
Well, the purpose is to make books and reading more accessible for children. And the studies prove that interacting with authors and illustrators can make a great impact for children in terms of their interest and motivation for reading and for also making books and writing their own stories and creating the pictures for the books as well.
So is the show, you talked about having primary school children there.
Yeah.
Is the showcase simply for the audience, the children, or is the showcase also for potential authors of children's books or puppeteers or people who are into illustration?
Yes, we're also having a few specially invited guests as well, and we're hoping that the children will learn how to be authors, but we're also sharing the knowledge with others also.
How long have you been now into puppeteering and illustration?
Well, this was another reason I wanted to do the showcase. I started when I was around 6 years old, writing books and making illustrations for the books as well, and being interested in sculpture. So I know firsthand that passion from a young age, and that followed me throughout my whole career. I did all my studies in illustration, and Operation Triple Threat gave me the opportunity to make puppets for their shows. And before that, I made puppets on a smaller scale. So that was my first time seeing the puppet on stage and seeing how it really came alive on stage. And I would have made the cow puppet for Into the Woods for Operation Triple Threat. And I made the cat puppet and mice puppets and bird puppet for their production of Cinderella.
What does this level of communication do for children's minds and their love of reading?
You know, in terms of their minds, as we see right now with the youth in Barbados, I think it's so important not just to be a witness to what is happening, but to make a difference with your talents. And so reading and literacy, when we talk about literacy, it is about making sure our children in Barbados have the ability to read, but also what they gain from the stories that they read in terms of learning about feelings, expressing their own feelings, learning about emotions and empathy. So there's so much levels when it comes to the importance of reading. And so this showcase is really about engaging the children in a different way, adding to what we have already in terms of literary events for children, but adding a different perspective. Because for myself, coming from the maker's perspective, I want them to see that angle from as well and become excited about their own talents or their own stories. And it doesn't just impact them in terms of reading, but you know, opening their minds to what they can grow to be. And that's a large part of the event, just to inspire them, because they can take what they learn in this event in all other areas of their life. And even if they are interested in science or maths, they can take the creativity and the imagination that they learn into those fields as well.
So the showcase is this Saturday?
This Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
This Friday.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's going to be at Olympus Theatres. We felt that would be a great family-friendly space. The kids can come into the theatre. We're going to project the books while we read them. We're going to have live drawing projections as well. And the children can eat in the theatre during intermission. And it's just a really great space for them.
So what time is it?
It's happening at 10 a.m. The children will arrive at 10 a.m. and the event starts at 10:30.
Okay, 10 to 10:30 the children, they're there, and then it ends around?
It ends around 1. So
Okay.
we've already invited primary schools to the event, and we've gotten a really positive response. And I want to thank the teachers as well and the principals I've spoken to for really rallying and getting everything together in time to come to the event.
Yes.
And we want to thank our sponsors as well, our title sponsors, the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust. And when they came on board, it was such a boost for us because this is our first time putting on the event. And so the support of sponsors, especially as we're making it a free admission event for children, the response from sponsors has been a great boost. We also have Bryden's, Frosty's, A1 Supermarkets, and Gaia Inc. on board. And the support has meant a lot.
So it's built for success. And so puppetry. I see you holding, what's this animal?
This is a cat puppet.
Oh, the cat.
Yes, so this puppet, I would have done a couple school visits, and the children absolutely loved to see the puppet and to see how it moves, and that was a really fun experience for them, and it got a big reaction at the end of the
I am sure.
visits.
it looks so real. And you built this?
Yes, I made this puppet, and what I love about working with Janelle from Operation Triple Threat, she knows how to challenge
Yes,
me.
she does.
And so I remember going through so many different stages in building this puppet, and every puppet I make, I have to learn something new as well. And that's why being in this field is so advantageous, because you really learn about problem solving, you learn how to pivot, you know, how to be resilient, and so it's always a great experience.
Every child likes to see what they read about come alive. And
Yeah.
so the use of puppetry, the use of illustrations respond to that particular desire in the child to see it come alive. And that's why I think sometimes children struggle with reading, because there are too many words. I just want to see the picture. But there's the balance of that we're talking about when it comes to literacy. And this is why teachers need to show up as well with the children to see what's possible in being able to communicate the love of reading and how to share and make that session so more engaging for that particular child in need. So puppetry is one tool that you will to show to us at the showcase, how to do it and how to enhance our experiences, but illustration also, because we're seeing a lot of creativity spilling out of our children.
Yes.
And so we want to be able to harness this, and the showcase provides that opportunity to do so.
Yes, illustration is also such a significant role in bookmaking, and there's so many children interested in drawing, and the question is, what do I do with this talent? And, you know, taking it to books is such a great way to express yourself, to use your voice to tell stories in the imagery that you create. And so we're going to touch on that and show some demonstrations as well.
So the two ladies who are joining you, what is their expertise that they're coming with?
Well, Ruth Amanda, she is an author and illustrator, so she's going to present her new book, Shell Ya, and she is going to do a live drawing demonstration for us as well. And then we have Yolanda T. Marshall. She'll be reading from her book, Brown Girl in the Snow and Marching North. And she's bringing years of experience as an author, as well as she would have published over 20 books, I believe. So we have a great team presenting with a lot of experience, and we're excited to share that with everyone.
Now, children do not sit quietly for too long. 10:30 to 1 o'clock is a long time to sit in the theater.
Yes, we actually got great feedback from one of the principals, and so we've included 2 intermissions. So after each presentation, we have a bit of a break. Children can stretch their legs, use the bathroom. They're bringing their lunch boxes, so they have their snacks available. They can also purchase snacks from Olympus Theaters, and it's going to be a really great, fun experience.
I could well imagine them crowding you because of the puppetry that you do as well. So what's the name of the kitty cat you have?
This cat does not have a name. This is the
Why-
second
why-
time
why?
I've been asked this when I was here. But this cat would have been a character on Cinderella,
Yes.
the production. So this cat has a lot of personality. If anyone made it to the show, this cat has a lot of personality.
You know, just by what you do, you made her come alive.
Yes.
I call it a her. Is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. And so let's do it again, because I really want people to see what puppetry can really look like and do. And there it is. I mean, while we're doing it in the show, you don't necessarily see the hand or the strings, but just by look at that. And she's doing everything the cats would do, except
And
scratch.
Exactly what you said just now is what I tell the children when I do the presentation, is that the puppet starts, it looks like an inanimate object, but once you start to operate it, it comes alive and it becomes its own character, and it can be a part of the storytelling when we're telling our stories.
But learning how to maneuver it so it looks real and not just some inanimate object, you know, how long did it take you to learn the art of puppetry?
Well, I was interested
days.
from, I was interested from BCC days when I was at Barbados Community College doing my associate degree. And then I went to New York City School of Visual Arts, and that's where I did my bachelor's degree, my BFA in illustration. So during that was my first time officially being taught how to make puppets. And I would have done that course because I enjoyed it so much. I did it twice. And I learned a lot. And after that, it's been about a lot of research and experimenting. And actually, when I made the puppets for Operation Triple Threat, I always say, wow, I'm amazed at what they do with it in terms of how they bring it to life. And I remember the cow puppet specifically, I was amazed at how he managed to move it. And you know, because I was able to sit as part of the audience then and watch the puppets.
Wow.
And it was just incredible to see what could be done with them.
So folks, if you want to know how to build a puppet, how to operate a puppet, how to use the puppet to enhance, whether it is in church or at school or in a group, because it looks so calming as a technique indeed, but we can reach out to you at any time, right?
Yes,
how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, ChariceHarris.ILLO on Instagram. I also created a new page, Bookscape Studio, because I actually started doing puppet workshops, and we had a puppet workshop for kids and we had one for adults as well, and so the adults were really excited.
I can imagine.
We made sock puppets, hand and mouth with rods to operate the hands, and they had a great time.
Well, this big boy wants to learn. But the showcase is this coming Friday, folks, at the Olympus Theatre for Children, open for children and educators as well. We want you to show up and show up in numbers, because the possibilities are endless when we talk about illustration, and we talk about puppetry, and we talk about writing. All of those skill sets will be shared with you on Friday at the Olympus Theatre. Thank you so much, Cherise,
Thank
for
you
joining
for
us.
having me.
And keep doing what you're doing. You are making it so real and so wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Break here, folks. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damian Best as they review the action. The goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the touchline, live on TV8.
Touchline, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably. Call CBC on 467-5437 to get started. In just 2 weeks, your memories will be ready to relive and share again.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up?
Good morning to you.
You know about Family Fest Barbados. You know that it's coming up, and so therefore I hope you're getting ready to be a part of all of the activities that are happening this year for Family Fest Barbados. We are all excited as well, because it is designed around the family and how the family functions. And so this year the theme is the purpose of the family, lest we forget. Joining me as always is the man who chairs and has founded Family Fest Barbados, Cornelius Bartlett. Cornelius, morning.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. Always great to be here.
Good to have you, my brother. And next to him is this little boy, known as Graham Vaughn. Graham, good morning to you as well, the Public Relations Officer.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good morning to you, my brother. Good to see you indeed. A behavioral therapist in Dellison, Charles, joins us. Good morning to you, Dellison.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
All right. So here we are again, Cornelius, another season of Family Fest. The purpose of the family being the theme this year.
Yeah.
Why?
First of all, I want to add a little something. This is our 7th year.
Mm-hmm.
So in our 7th year, we were looking at the purpose of the family. Because the purpose of the family is pretty much going back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like 7 is a very significant number. It speaks to completion. In fact, if you look back at our first interview 7 years ago in 2020, when Shane and Cassandra did it,
mm-hmm.
he was mentioning, you know, 7 is a significant number. And we felt that now that we're doing 7 years, let's go back to basics. What's the purpose of the family? And start to reinforce that purpose in the minds of everybody. Because we all came from families, right?
Yeah. And we're seeing the desperate need to getting back to what the family, by how it's played out in society generally.
Yes, for sure. Wow. Yeah.
And so what's happening this year, Vaughn?
Well, we are going into we're starting early this year. So we're going to have a panel discussion this month. Okay, we're getting into it from early to make sure that we cover all the bases. make sure that we get into the basics so that everybody has a groundwork for when we get into the Family Fest month, when we're really celebrating in July and having our full month. Don't forget that we focus on the men, we focus on the women, we focus on the children, and then we put it all together. And this year as well, we're also going to be having a fantastic event, a fundraising gala in September. So after seeing the work that Family Fest is doing, after you've been able to experience it and come on board as far as, okay, this is good, this education is necessary, then you can support us as well. Come and buy one of our tickets. It's going to be at the Hilton Ballroom. It's going to be wonderful. We've got a lot of plans and a night of entertainment and class that is really going to allow you to be able to say, hey, I'm ready to jump on board financially, with my time, in any way that you want.
And we'll delve a little bit deeper into that. But this month of May, there are 2 sessions. There are 2 sessions.
Yes.
One. There's a session.
Yes.
There's a session. That while we're looking at the purpose of the family, we also want to look at how the family is structured and some of the challenges the family engages with.
One of the biggest challenges that the family does face is a horrible little A word called abuse. But abuse, we have a mental picture in our minds of what abuse looks like. But there are sneaky little things that come under the radar that we want to focus on, some of the things that don't get as much highlighting, to make sure that we're all aware of these things. Because once you're not aware of something, it can not a case of it sliding under your radar, but you can end up being guilty of it. It's something that can sneak into your way of doing things. And we really want to make sure, again, education is the key. You've got to know so that you can be aware and be guided.
So Dallas, when it sneaks into our way of doing things, we're talking about, one, we've accepted a behavior, a change in ourselves, but we have to now rechange that behavior.
Definitely.
How can you do that?
I mean, first thing, the first step is always awareness. I love the fact that Graham said, you know, that you can be doing things or you can be having an impact, a negative impact particularly, without knowing that that's what you're doing. So the first step is always awareness, because all adjustment or analysis stems from awareness. So the first step along the line is getting people informed and educated about what the real symptoms are, or what is the magnitude of the concept. And then people can then do some introspection, some reflection on themselves to see what they may be doing, what needs to be analyzed, what needs to be adjusted, and then real change can happen. So everything stems from information and education.
But you have to be honest.
You have to be honest. Because a lot of the times, many persons are challenged or they are impeded by their own self-denial. So there are some people who don't want to identify with it. They don't want to qualify themselves by the labels or, you know, whatever the classification might be. But you have to be honest in the process. Even when I do counseling with clients, I said to them, the first step of the journey is honesty, because I can only help you as much as you allow yourself to be helped. So you have to be honest about it as well.
And that's the word to all families watching today, because the purpose of the family is the central theme of Family Fest this year. And sometimes the ugly truth, we want to smash that mirror thinking it's the mirror's fault. We have to look at ourselves and understand the mirror is just a mere reflection thereof. And so all Family Fest long, you're shining the light back on who we are as a family and the purpose of the family in being a safe haven, but being a haven also of instruction and development.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait to find out what July brings. I really can't wait.
Well, I can't wait either, you know. So imagine, you know, I'm inside and I still look forward to it every single year. But the thing about it is that, you know, I really want to say that we've been limited so far to July. Pearson, to be honest with you, and our Barbadians who are listening, or everybody, everywhere who's listening, we want to do more. And I really... I get emotional about it, because when I look around at all the voices we have in society, and we just resort to being commentators, and when I look at the fact that our society and the world seem to be into symptom solving. So we hear about a gun violence problem, we hear about domestic violence problem. I do not agree. We have a gun violence symptom, we have domestic violence symptoms. the problem that we have, and every single human being, and I want us to really think and look at this, even down to serial killers. Where did every single human being start? In a family. Somebody influenced. A lot of things that we experience in society are really the results of nurturing. A lot of things we claim that might be nature, I would say is nurtured. So what we're doing at Family Fest is we really want to educate. And what does education look like? We had a lady on earlier trying to educate children using puppetry. Education can look like anything. It could be a seminar. Education could be a play. Education could be anything. It can take any form. We want to be able to go out there and start educating people. And Dallison brought a very interesting example. He said, well, you know, people need knowledge. And he said, but if you're not transformed, even with knowledge by itself, it probably would not work. So what we want to do is we want to bring all of the different facets of education and help people to become more self-aware and hopefully become better parents. That we could see men now being able to understand that, you know, the way to fight your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend is not to stop supporting the child. Get in control of your emotions. Because a lot of men, and I'm going to say this on public television now, I'm not convinced that the majority of men who don't support their children are doing it because they are bad or a lot of times these men are misguidedly so, using that as a mechanism of revenge because they've been hurt, they've been abused. And vice versa, some women are abused as well. So I don't want to go the line that it's only men, but some women are also being unfair. The point of the matter that Family Fest is here to help the entire family.
Well done.
And if I may very quickly, Pearson, he just ended on help. Our tagline is that we're offering help, hope, healing, and happiness. And one of the things I'd like to educate the public about right now is that there's a progression going on there. Family Fest is here to offer help. A lot of people feel that when they see these things within themselves, they've got nowhere to turn. Excuse me. And I don't want you to feel like that. Contact us. Reach out. We offer help. Because you get help, you can move to hope. Then with help and hope over time, you start to experience healing, and that leads you to happiness. There is a goal. So I want every time you see Family Fest, you see that tagline.
Right.
Help, hope, healing, happiness. There's a destination.
We've been scrolling all morning long while you were listening to us as well, how you can reach out to Family Fest Barbados and how you can make your contribution to Family Fest Barbados. I know the first activity is coming up this month. When is it?
17th.
The 17th, that single event, and it's all as usual online. It's a panel discussion. So again, Family Fest Barbados, look at the screen, look at your screen, folks. That information is important to you to pay attention to. Your donations you make to CIBC Caribbean, First Caribbean, to the Broad Street branch. That's the account number and the account type and also the account name. But the website is familyfestbarbados.org, and all of those places you go to get all the information there. They want to encourage you on the 17th to be a part of that first panel discussion, but there's also a big activity coming up very, very quickly that we need to get our tickets for early, Graham.
Yes, the gala.
Right.
You can make sure that you get your tickets by contacting Family Fest Barbados. You can also go to the box office, which is Core Bar Business. That's in Oystons. You can call them, find them in the phone book, and if you still use a phone book, or online, and you can call them up and get your tickets. Tickets are $250. It is an elegant affair.
And there's some corporate arrangements as well. So corporate entities, you can just call Bar and get to know a whole lot more about it. I'm out of time. That's why I'm moving so swiftly. Yeah, but obviously opportunities will abound for you to be able to come back and talk to us a little bit more as it draws nearer. Okay?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Right. Before you go, I want to thank CBC though for being committed to helping Family Fest. From 2020, CBC Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation was on board, and I want to say a thank you to CBC in front of everybody for all that you've done.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Cornelius Bartlett, Graham Vaughan, Dellison, Charles. Thank you, gentlemen. Family Fest Barbados.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice being here.
We're taking a break right here. We're coming up with news and more in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1 The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional you.
Morning, morning, good morning, good morning to you.
Let's look at the news now as 2,676 primary school students prepare to sit today's Common Interest examination. Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw is urging them to approach the exam with confidence as they have already been putting their best foot forward.
You have spent many months preparing, learning, and growing, and that effort matters. Approach this examination with confidence. Do your best. Stay focused and trust in what you have learned. Also trust in God. Remember, this is just one step along your educational journey. There are many more exciting opportunities ahead with new experiences, new friendships, and new achievements waiting for you.
Dr. Archer-Bradshaw also thanked teachers and parents for their commitment towards the children's future.
I also extend sincere thanks to our educators whose commitment and guidance have helped to prepare our students for this important milestone. Your dedication continues to make a lasting impact on their futures. To our parents and guardians, thank you for your ongoing support and encouragement. Your role is vital, and I encourage you to remain actively engaged in your child's educational journey through strong and consistent parent-teacher partnerships.
Well, today's exams are being held across the 21 secondary schools of the island, and that exam begins at 9 o'clock this morning. The Ministry of Education Transformation has launched a parent education program. It's designed to enhance positive parenting skills, thereby empowering parents to develop resilient children who will actively impact families, communities, and the nation. CBC's Anesta Henry reports now that it was rolled out yesterday at the Laurier Skin Sandiford Center.
The Revolutionary Parent Education Program is being dubbed a critical component of education transformation, empowering parents as active partners and key stakeholders in shaping their children's success. Minister of Education Transformation Chad Blackman says by equipping parents with practical knowledge, skills, and strategies to support learning, well-being, and positive behavior, the program will strengthen the crucial link between home and school.
But it's not just about social media, it's also about how do you equip the parents to be able to help the child to understand new modes of learning. So therefore what a teacher is doing during the day must therefore be supported by what the parent is doing on morning and in the afternoon and night when that child is at home. And the idea is not just to be from a ministry point of view, it's somewhere in the Ministry of Education in Bridgetown, but we've taken a very deliberate approach and strategy to be able to take this across communities in Barbados so as to ensure that we meet parents and families where they are.
And Minister Blackman says technology will be fully utilized throughout the program.
But I've told the team that we must now allow for parents to use technology or phones to be able to, if you want a top-up on certain aspects of parenting, and to be able to now learn new things that will help you to be able to help your child, you must be able to use your telephone and to go on and to see how you can do that.
The Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, is injecting $300,000 into executing the pilot phase of the program, which starts in a matter of weeks. Program coordinator Dr. Terry Blackman is making it clear the program is evidence-based and has been designed to meet critical needs of today's society.
Ultimately, we want to develop a community of parents who are there for one another. It isn't that they're just going to come to a 6-week session. It is that they are going to attend the sessions and they're going to build community. Our goal is that when they come together and they see each other, that they recognize when they feel isolated, they have somebody to call on. They have a number to call where there's someone who understands what they're going through, who can help them to navigate the space that they're in.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education Transformation, Kim Bell, says of the 20-plus trainers recruited thus far to work with the program, only 2 are males. She is therefore appealing for more men to assist with the program.
Men, we need you. We need you to raise your hand and come and say, I am standing up and I am ready to be a trainer, to reflect what it is to be a strong parent, to be a role model not only for the sons but also for the daughters. 2 is not adequate by any stretch of the imagination.
Parents are being encouraged to sign up for the 6-week parent education pilot program. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Meanwhile, a warning to students liming on the streets during school hours. The Minister of Education Transformation says he will be hitting the streets in short order to arrest the vexing issue of alarming numbers of students at the bus stops refusing to board buses en route to their respective schools. He intends to travel around the island with teams from his ministry to ensure children are where they are supposed to be at the right time.
Well, you can know the bus because you can tell by the uniform which route and which bus they're supposed to take. And the bus pass and stop, well, it stopped. Not a child get in the bus. Bus gone, children refuse to get in the bus. So clearly then the issue, in most instances, is not an issue of transportation. So you have to ask yourself, why is it that some of our young people feel that they can lime and loiter instead of going to school? Parents, I say this to you through social media and the traditional media. The Ministry of Education, with the other entities of government, will be ensuring that we bring a stop to this.
Let's go to sports now. Rashad Jules scored a stoppage time winner as defending champions Weymouth Wales remains at the top of the BFA Premier League with 1 point advantage after the last set of games at Ville de Turf. Anne-Marie Burke reports now that Paradise and Pride of Gall Hill were also in winner's circle.
The usual Sunday football action continued as Pride of Gall Hill faced off against UW Blackbirds in the opening game. Gall Hill applied relentless pressure from the first whistle, dominating possession and pushing forward at every opportunity. It felt inevitable that the breakthrough would come. It was only a matter of time before their persistence paid off. And it will be Shakiri Motley in the 86th minute to do just that. Gall Hill with the 1-0 win over the Blackbirds. What followed next, however, was a goal fest started in just the 10th minute of play. Paradise on the attack. Kamal Griffith shakes the attack and the cross finds a running Tyra Rayside Mendoka, who fires home. A minute later, a corner is awarded. It comes into the box. A tussle from both sides before Sharon Hoyt put it to rest. Paradise up 2-0. And soon it will be 3. Shamari Harewood shakes the defense and then delivers a pass for the Mendoka to deliver again. Paradise with majority control were down in their box again. And how about the Mendoka getting his hat trick to make it 4-0? The boys from Dover are in command. Wharton yet to come to the party. Griffith then got the chance to get his name on the scorecard. Cutting in from left, he unleashed a sweetly struck effort that traveled across the face of goal before nestling neatly into the far pocket. Paradise get their 5th. Harewood too wanted in on the scoring action, this time on the other end of an assist, and he turns and makes no mistake. It scored. Hoyt also added another that sent Paradise into the half, up 7-0. into the second now, and Wharton finally came to the party. Dimitri Archer's advancing down right flank before he delivers across that finds Trey Bayer, and Wharton are on the scorecard. But you can bet Paradise hit back almost immediately. Just 2 minutes later, they had their response, and it was Harewood again stepping up to grab his second of the game with a composed finish that kept the momentum firmly on their side. Christian Gill then came through to ensure his name will be in ink on the night as well, staving off a strong defense to hammer home. But Paradise played like a well-oiled machine, and as fans would say, look at ball. And Harewood makes this his hat trick and sealed the deal at 11 goals for his side. Wharton added one more for good measure. After that Paradise demolition job, Jaden Benjamin would have the final say on the score sheet, but by then it was all academic. Paradise had already sealed a commanding 11-2 victory. The nightcap was a crucial one for Weymouth Wales, who are in a real fight for the premiership as they took on Ellerton. And Wales will find themselves with first dibs. Rashad Jules is brought down in the box, and you know that's a penalty. Stepping up to take it was Akil Applewaite, money in the bank. That 1-0 advantage held into the half. But Ellerton pulled things level in the 67th, and the man to do it was Shaquille Bell. And just when we thought it would be a locked game, 3 minutes into extra time, Wales have possession, all hands on deck. The cross comes in, and Rashad Jules has the final say. Wales eke out the 2-1 win to remain top of the table.
That report there from Anne-Marie Burke. That brings us to the end of our news and sports. Until now, we'll have more news and sports coming up at 12 noon right here on TV8. Morning Barbados is right back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 60 minutes now after 7 o'clock. I wear my green for a reason today. Yes, I wear my green proudly as an early morning wall crawler myself. And that's why I keep telling you yesterday and today that Thursday, something big is happening with the early morning wall crawlers, and something big just for you as well. So joining me is the president of the early morning wall crawlers in Rhonda Hines Graham, who I call Sweet Roz. You were a messenger this morning?
Yeah, I was outside.
That's where you were?
Yeah, I was outside in the lobby.
Ron is supposed to come here, but we were on home messaging that she's supposed to be here.
No, I was there. I was here from 6:15.
Okay.
Good morning, Pearson.
Morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good to see you. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. I'm always happy to be here. And it's always good to be in your company.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Those early mornings at 4:30
Listen.
is because of what is happening today.
And there are a lot of people who don't understand that, you know. I mean, for those of you who don't know the story, I would have done the morning show on Q100.7 FM. I can't remember when I started.
Yeah, the 4th of January 2016.
See? She's my calendar.
A Monday morning.
And I always had an extra half hour. So I would go live at 4:30 in the morning. I'll keep you company then until 9 o'clock in the morning on Q100.7 FM. And, you know, there you all were.
Yes, you started the 4th of January, as I said, 2016. And you started by saying, you greeted us every morning and you established the Q page was there. You said, post your greetings on the wall. Strangers we were, you know, strangers. Lady like Slender Glenda.
Yes.
Joanne Jackman, David G. Solomon, the lady from Mags from St. Philip, Right, so many of us at the Leah Alva Hope, Stevenson Phillips, all of us were there early. Strangers we were, you know, strangers. Then along came John Lynn Skeet, the Queen of Gwendolyn. Right, so, and I was like, these strangers, the early morning birthday calls, Pearson, those were something else.
Listen, you ever tell me a greeting, I want the number. I'm going to call and surprise you. And I would always do something crazy with a different accent. It was fun.
It was real fun.
Was really
I
fun.
remember for my birthday, when you called me, and I was like, nobody wants boy calling me so early morning. Gotta be Pearson. So I answering, he ain't tricking me this morning. He can't trick me. Right? And then, you know, everybody start gravitating to each other. Then we had Romeo was sending his greetings. Then when you had the Bible trivia, Verity Beckles, the late Verity Beckles, we girl from down St. Joseph, Shirls. Oh, she's sharp. Then you got Billy Scant there that you making people doubt yourself. How you get that? How you know that? Well, how you find that? That was you, Pearson. But the thing was the Monday mornings.
Yes.
The bar.
The bar, PB Bar and Grill.
PB Bar and Grill. Nobody can touch the process. Don't come in here, don't block up my door, you know. I don't do change. I don't do change.
Was I that bad?
It ain't that bad, it was good. It was bad, but in a good way. And don't... But the best for me, the memory was the morning off for the ladies on chicken. Well, it was chicken teeth. I was like, what is that? And the minute was going to work, and I breaking down laughing. People thought Rhonda crazy. She's going to have a Pearson. Mornings were fun-filled.
Yeah.
It was so much, and we reach out to each other. Then we embrace. Then from May 2016, that when they named the early morning walk across. Because I was like, where's those early morning? 4:30. Well, Slender Glenda up at 12 o'clock. She and Brenda Hewitt competing for
who gets on first.
Who gets on first. So I said, you know, the only thing that we could do so early in the morning is to crawl on the wall. You crawl. So that was the birth of the name, the early morning wall crawlers. Strangers we were. You had Elaine Bascom, Waveney Rose, Dan Leslie, all those people overseas, you know, all the people overseas that used to be there on mornings, the early mornings, and we inspired each other. The greetings, you know, the words of comfort. Because when I go in the street, people will say, Rhonda, you all make our day. The older people, they look forward to that, and they love Pearson. Everybody love Pearson, born by Pearson. They love.
Yeah, I was just being my crazy self.
Yes, but very love. We love you so
and
much.
I appreciate that because I felt the love as well. And so you formed the group, Early Morning Wall Crawlers, and it is an established group. I know we're marking 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. We're marking 10 years. And we started the year with the first church service with you. We went to Harton because he said it's only fitting because we see you as our teacher, Pearson. You have done so much for us.
Bless you.
So I was like, we need to start this year, this 10-year celebration with the person that made it possible because you give us a voice, you know.
Bless you. So there we are at church, after church, we stood outside. I mean, there were a number of us who turned. That's not everyone in the picture at all. Not everyone took the picture.
Right.
And so there were quite a number of you who came, and it was so lovely to see the sea of green in Hawthorne Memorial Methodist Church there that morning, and to worship with me at my church. It was fun. It was really fun. And so the group continues. You travel, you do a lot of work.
Yes, we do a lot. We do community outreach. You go into the community, you help those less fortunate, because that's our mantra. We are the oldsters, because we are oldsters, the group. I might look young, but I'm in the oldster group. So we go into the community and we help assist those that less fortunate. So this month now, our big event would be Q in the community on Thursday. And then the 31st, we will have our annual church service at All Saints, because that's carved in stone.
Yeah, but our boy.
Yes, with Selvin Lowe, Reverend Selvin Lowe. But Thursday is the event that we are looking forward to. We want everybody to come out, be part of it, come out and see who are the early morning walk crawlers. You will meet. A lot of people know Rhonda Hines Green because they know me from social media, and John Linsky, but then you will probably get to see Slender Glenda and Narville, Richard You know, right now
Of
we have two
course.
faithful men, Richard Kelman and Alfred Griffith. So come on out to Chuck Hall, and there's no better place than to have this event.
Than in our parish.
In our parish,
parish.
because of Pearson. We are the early morning because of Pearson. And come to St. Lucie, come to St. Lucie.
Our
and,
parish.
And yes,
Our
we pro
parish.
St. Lucie people.
So Checker Hall playing field is where Q in the community will be this Thursday. As always, we start at 11. I tell you that every week, and then you stay until you're ready to go home. But when you come, we're doing some very special things on Thursday. Can you share a little bit about that, Rhonda?
Well, you're going to have, there will be prizes because we have sponsors. We have Earl Funeral Home, we have KMJ, Sonash Enterprises, and
People. So we're looking for this oldest mother, the best dressed mother,
and the youngest mother. And then there will be a prize even for the 47th person, because one of the vendors, it would be her 47th birthday. So she said she would be giving a prize for the 47th lady, because it's Mother's Day, just a few days. So we're celebrating all the months. So
it's the 47th member to her place?
No, not to her, to the event. To the event.
Oh,
so
you're so big, Chuck Hall playing field is?
Yeah, but what we will do, we'll have some person at the gate. Cause I don't know Chuck Hall pastor fencing, so you'll be able to fence. So we will work on that. You know, John Linsky.
Of course. The lady of Glendale will make sure all goes
she's
well.
The vice president. And I have to thank John, because John is the person that out there. And the Vanguard, she's doing it. You know John. You know John can get it. You put the ideas there, and John's going to run with it, and she's going to work. And then everything will come. So come Thursday, and you all will see what we, the early morning wall crawlers, have in store for.
Right. So if you don't know who they are, come and meet them
when you come
on Thursday.
We will be able to identify us, because this is what we would be wearing.
The early morning wall crawlers, Q team.
Yes, Pearson, this is yours, because
listen, look at my size, Rhonda.
Don't worry, you can put it on.
I am tiny.
Yes, you can come
Bless
and
you.
as teacher, as we see you as a teacher, you come and be there for your students.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'll take a break. When I come back, I want to talk some more to Ron, Sweet Ron's, a little bit more about the early morning wall crawlers, some of the plans that are in the offing, and everything else right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damian Best as they review the action, the goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the Touchline, live on TV8.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We are with the early morning wall crawlers of Q100.7 FM, marking 10 years of existence this year, and they have been consistent and persistent over those 10 years in what they do. And so Rhonda Hines-Graham is the president of the group, and she's with us as we get ready for Thursday, when we invite you to come meet us at Checker Hall playing field for Thursday's Q in the community. And so, Sweet Rons, let's build it now. So, as usual, there's going to be the dancing, the music, the karaoke, the eating. Lots of vendors will be there.
Right, and the socializing. Because, you know, Q is an event where you come out and you socialize.
Yes.
You see people that you haven't seen for years, you know, and meet new friends. That's a good thing about Q in the community. You meet new friends, because people might see you, you hear your voice on the radio, and then when they say, oh, That is you?
That's-
Well, I thought you the taller. That's what it is. I'm telling you all the time, right? But we have events too, as I said before, the church service.
Yes.
Then, well, one of the main events this year is November. We'll be going back to Panama. We went to Panama last year during the month of November.
Yes.
And people love it so much, they said we have to do it again. And when we went to Panama last year, we were able to, we had our own Bajan a night. We had a dinner. We were dressed in our national colors and everything. It was really nice. And Panama is a real warm and friendly place. And there's so much history because a lot of our foreparents went there to help build the canal and things. If you go to Panama, if it's one thing you must do, go to the canal, do that tour, listen to the documentary. Very educational and enlightening for me. I learned a lot from that because we grew up hearing about Panama, but to go there and experience the culture and the people, nice. I got friends there already, you know.
And the food. I see there's some strange food in Panama. Well, it looks strange to me.
It looks, plantain is one of the main things they serve a lot. But we had a big able fish sole up
Yeah,
there.
it's huge.
A snapper.
Okay.
And just, it was $20 and it took me a return 2 days to eat it.
But that's one of the plans, you know. So
Yes.
as early morning wall crawlers, you travel, you give back to community, you assist the members who are in some need as best we can. And so we want to encourage you because it's such a warm group that for those of you who listen to Q100.7 FM, find your space on the wall. First of all, make yourself known to the early morning wall crawlers who are already on the wall, and then come to meetings of the early morning wall crawlers and get to know
church
more.
services. We want it, we have monthly church services with a member. So like last month we went to Dudamus with we went with Almonda Trotman, and then so this month it will be
For the anniversary, we go to All
Saints.
Saints.
And then next month we will go with Bishop Stephen Cumberbatch because he was a member he joined with us from
Quite early, yes.
so we would worship with him in June. And then, you know, as the months go on, we would
You
worship
keep you
with-
informed.
Yes, we will keep you informed and keep the public informed. And come out and meet the early morning wall crawlers. We are loving, friendly, warm people.
They're really cool for truth.
Yes.
They're really, really good. So Thursday, check a hall playing field for Q in the community, where you come and perhaps it's your first moment to meet Rhonda and meet Janlyn and the other group members of the group Early Morning Wall Crawlers and get a sense of how it functions. We're looking to reward you as the oldest mother, the best dressed mother, the youngest mother, the 47th woman who comes through the door, the gates, because it's fenced in, so you come in, you see all of your favorite food vendors, great music by DJ Scotty, a fully stocked bar. The Q bus will bring you there. Dario, have you met Dario yet? No.
No.
Dario Hope drives the Q bus. Dario Hope is his name. Very friendly fella. And so we want to encourage you to come down to Chaka Hall playing field this Thursday for Q in the community karaoke. I wonder if Slender is going to sing.
I will. I practicing, so I listen up.
Oh dear.
Listen up for
Oh
me.
dear.
Well, if you come into St. Lucie, well, I can't let everybody come down St. Lucie and I don't want to showcase my talent. Well, I at home, so
Look
I
at you.
should. When you
Look
come
at
at me, I should.
Well, you know Richard is the dancer.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Richard is going to be on the stage dancing indeed. So we want you to come and have fun with the early morning wall crawlers this Thursday for Q in the community. It starts at 11. I suggest you get there even earlier. Find your space to park as best you can safely and come inside. Take the Q bus from gate number 1 at the Granville Williams Terminal. Dario Hope will be driving you. He's a good guy. I keep telling you that. He'll bring you there safely. He'll take you back as well. But come to Q in the community where we will have a grand old time with the early morning wall crawlers. If you're just a casual listener to Q 100.7 FM and you're curious about who these people are who call themselves the early morning wall crawlers, come and find out. Come engage with them.
We'll be able to be identified because we all will be wearing
your green shirts.
Yeah,
Indeed.
we'll be wearing
Can't miss it. Can't miss it. A fun time awaits you this Thursday. Indeed. It's a very special Q. The early morning wall crawlers marking 10 years of existence, and they're waiting to have you there at the Checker Hall playing field this Thursday. And there you are. Where is this? This is in Panama.
That was in Panama. That was the day they were going to the tour, to the canal tour.
Oh.
That's because we had our shirts and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's heading off to the tour.
The little Beaufort lady with the child in her hand is Slender. Is Jan
Linsky, yeah.
Right.
She's
And
the
where was this one?
vice
Okay,
president. Oh,
right,
that-
there she is. And then the other picture now, Dawn. Right, where's
that was
this?
the night we had our gala. the
Ah,
Independence
yes, dressed in your
Gala,
national colours.
Yes, we dressed, and we had the room decorated and everything in
Nice.
national colours. So we had a
Saitobia
great
was there as well. You see her there?
day. Yeah.
Everybody's
You see
there.
Richard,
Richard stooping.
Yeah, Elaine, and
So-
you know, 'cause Elaine had flew in from Port Lauderdale to be with
Yes,
us.
yes. I wonder if Waveney will come in on Thursday. Just kidding. Waveney, we're looking to see you. I know she's watching. So, folks, it's going to be a great day. This Thursday, queue in the community at Checker Hall playing field beginning at 11 in the morning. Nobody races your way, so you stay until you're ready to go. And while you're there, have your fun with your drinks and eats, the karaoke, the dancing, the socializing. Get to meet the early morning wall crawlers. Continue to support the early morning wall crawlers as we move around and we visit with at the churches as well. So look out for the people in green as we take over this island indeed. Sweet Rons, thank you as always.
Thank you,
Great
Chris,
work to
and
you and the group and your leadership of it.
Thank you, teacher.
Yes,
Morning.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Morning Barbados breaks right here. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damian Best as they review the action, the goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the touchline, live on TV8.
Touchline, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power.
Preserve your personal.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 25 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. The St. Michael's Centre for Faith and Action is hosting the annual Dean's Lecture. And we're looking forward to it because of all sorts of reasons. It makes a big difference to lived experience for a lot of us. And so joining us as we prepare for it is the very Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Gibson, who you know is the Dean of St. Michael's Cathedral and All Angels, and Dr. Henderson Carter, our friend who's the Dean, a different kind of a dean in this instance, of the Faculty of Humanity and Education. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
The St. Michael's Centre for Faith and Action. Let's talk a little bit about that and why it's designed in that way.
Good morning to you, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados. The St. Michael Centre for Faith and Action was formed in 2017 as a think tank to provide a forum for people to engage in matters of religion and public education. We are a registered charity, and the Dean's Lecture is, we say, the flagship of the program of the centre. So we're engaging a variety of concerns of the public, ranging from directly matters of religion to historical matters, cultural and social matters. Yeah. And the church is present, and we allow people to participate in those type of discussions.
So the Centre for Faith and Action is designed to, because as humans, we all want to understand why we exist, or why that exists, what's later, what's happening, when I die, what happens? All of those questions we often have of ourselves, and so the Centre is designed to be able to help us navigate our way through that?
Yes.
Okay.
All of that, to help us to find ourselves as people in the midst of all that happens in our life. Sometimes the topics are, I want to say, directly related to faith identity, but we often promote matters of public interest, public policy matters. And in addition to the Dean's Lecture, we also offer a forum entitled Festival Forum that generally comes in September, October, nearest to this the Feast of St. Michael and All Angels. And that's the time when we may engage other subjects that could deal with matters of personal identity and one's ultimate destiny and so on.
I think that last question, what's ultimate destiny, is what a lot of us are curious about indeed. And so the conversation continues. So for those watching who are saying, okay, where do I find this place if I want to begin my relationship, my journey towards discovery?
The center is based in St. Michael's Cathedral. We are a 9-member board, of which I'm the chair. We rely on persons from various parts of the island. So along with myself, there's a member of the cathedral who is part of it. But the membership, we have one from Christchurch Parish Church, there's the rector of St. Lawrence and a member of St. Lawrence. There are represented there are different talents and skills. There's an attorney at law, there's an educator, a variety of people will meet and we would deliberate. We meet on a monthly basis to deal with matters at hand and to plan for the future.
Okay.
So anyone can engage us by way of conversation. The telephone numbers are those of the cathedral, 427-0790, and one will be guided further on. From time to time, we are able to engage some of the schools. Like in the month of June, we have generally related to the primary schools in the immediate vicinity of the cathedral. And the children then offer all sorts of questions about matters of faith that you're virtually put on the spot and you have to be thinking, because you may have a script, but the children bring what their concerns are. Yeah.
Of course. And so the annual Dean's Lecture now, when is it?
This is set for Tuesday, May 12th.
Next Tuesday coming.
7 o'clock in the evening, and it will be held in the Courtney Blackman Grand Salle, the Central Bank of Barbados. This is the 8th Dean's Lecture. We have been in existence for 9 years. We missed 1 year, that's the year of 2021, when we were on the pandemic
we had to stay
circumstances. But it was 1 year when we were actually able to host it in 2020 online, fully online. And so this year we thought that we needed to focus on something that was directly related to public life, to help people to recognize that there are people who have made significant contributions to the life of Barbados. Yes, we recognize the contribution of politicians, but in addition to politicians, there have been culture practitioners, there have been religious leaders, academics of various disciplines who've all contributed to the dialogue of making Barbados what it is today, and will certainly contribute to helping us to navigate whatever set of circumstances we are dealing with.
And I'm like you, I can't think of a better person to help us do that than Dr. Henderson Carter, who is a historian. I was going to say storyteller, but my grandmother said to me, don't be careful when you use that term, because it could mean something else. But here you are now the gentleman who will be delivering the lecture.
Yes.
What does it mean to you personally to be asked to deliver this lecture that looks at movers and shakers in society?
Well, certainly it is an honor for me to be asked to do so, and to be asked to do so by an important church, the St. Michael's and All Angels Cathedral. I call it the hospital of Barbados when we were at our biggest crisis in the nation. That is in 1831, when most of the churches were blown down. And here's the St. Michael's Cathedral, badly damaged, but yet serving as a hospital, as a mobilizing center to ensure that Barbadians got back on their feet. So for me, it is really an honor to do the research, because even though I've done areas regarding protests and activism, it pushes you a little bit to go back and do more research. And Pearson, we are going to be focusing the spotlight on those Barbadians who we have hardly heard anything about. And we are going to be looking at those Barbadians in slavery, Barbadians in post-slavery period, Barbadians in the 20th and in the 21st centuries. And we're doing that because there is a notion in this country that Barbadians are quiet and docile and acquiescent, and we don't do anything for our good. I want to confront that notion in the lecture by looking at those Barbadians who protested, who were out there doing things, and we're looking at the origins of that protest, the nature of that activism, and of course the results of the activism. And we'll be telling some stories of people we never heard before. For example, and I'm going to whet your appetite with this one.
Let's go.
Betsy Newton.
Who's Betsy Newton?
Elizabeth Betsy Newton, who lived, enslaved woman, who in 1794, she's living at Newton Plantation. And she leaves the plantation, leaves her children there, travels to Bridgetown. Then from Bridgetown, she's able to get transportation, this is slavery though, to St. Vincent.
Ooh.
And then from St. Vincent, she's able to get transportation by boat to England. And then from when she arrives in England, in London, she's able to go to her master's house, her absentee master, Thomas Lane. And there she's complaining about conditions in the Caribbean.
Wow.
And she's writing letters. And we're going to show you some of those letters and read some of those letters. So we're going to look at her story. Then we're going to look at another woman from Vaucluse in the immediate post-slavery period, a woman called Molly Coffey. And Molly Coffey stood up to the planters in the 1830s when it was normal for planters to come into the house of the formerly enslaved and do as they like. Molly stood up to them.
Not in here.
Yes, not in here. Ran them out of the house and threatened to throw something on them. I'm not going to say what the something is.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think I do.
Yeah. So, and then we go into the 20th century, looking at people like Clennell Wickham, one of our noted journalists. And he is protesting against child labor in Barbados, because these children, 5, 6 years old, are in the fields, picking palm grass and not being educated. And Wickham is out there using the pen in a newspaper called The Herald, and he's making these points. And then we come up to 1950. Now, today, we know that in Heroes Square, there's no monument of Lord Nelson. They removed that monument. But in 1950, there was an individual in Barbados called D.D. Garner, who was asking for a black man, a monument of a black man to be placed beside Lord Nelson. So we are looking at the origins of that and tracing that story of the removal of Lord Nelson right up to the 21st century. So it really is going to be the spotlight being shown on our activists. And these are people who are making important points. They're seen as rabble-rousers, people who are seen as disturbing the peace of the community. But yet, when we look at the history, their activism helped to rescue situations and helped to promote Barbados in a serious way. For example, when we look at the activism of Nanny Gregg. Nanny Gregg was a woman who got out there and says, you enslaved people should stop working and do like the Haitians have done. And we're going to follow that story because Nanny Gregg, even though the rebellion happened in 1816, she was never arrested.
Wow.
And she lived to a good, ripe old age, and we know where she's buried. So come on Tuesday and hear the story of Nanny Gregg.
You see why he keeps me on the edge of the seat all the time. And he will keep you, Dr. Henderson Carter, on the edge of your seat as well when you come to the Tom Adams Financial Center and hear the stories of these little known people who, by dint of hard work and with no fear, confronted and created change. We'll take a break right here. We'll come back to share with you more about what else to expect at the upcoming Dean's Lecture on Tuesday. Morning Barbados in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Oh, yes.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably. Call CBC on 467-5437 to get started. In just 2 weeks, your memories will be ready to relive and share again.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1 The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share?
10 to the hour, we're looking at the upcoming Dean's Lecture, which happens Tuesday coming in the Grand Salle, Tom Adams Financial Center. And so that's what we're talking about. We heard the story of this enslaved woman who, without fear, found her way to the wharf, found her way on a boat to another island, and then on eventually to the UK, where she confronted her absentee owner and said, I don't like what's happening back there in Barbados or the Caribbean with our enslaved people. How bold was that? But just imagine for a moment you turning up at the airport without a travel document. Or did you have a travel document? Those kinds of things happen, but she had pluck. And so she traveled with her faith to take her just where she needed to go to be heard. And that sometimes, Dean Gibson, is what we do. We don't realize all the while the struggles we are going through. Our faith becomes weakened because we don't know the way. And sometimes we just have to be a little bit more patient and allow God to work things through. I think. That's my interpretation.
Yes, I agree with you. I think they're at the heart of our life, believers in Christ, and I'm certain that other faith communities will hold the same, that we are led and driven by divine power. Our challenge is to discern what is happening. Sometimes we may not immediately recognize our own personal circumstances or make sense of them. Sometimes we may not be able to understand what is happening publicly and sort of social affairs. We might feel overwhelmed by them. But if we have a faith in God, the God who is the Lord of history, we think everything works its purpose out for good. And from conversations with Dr. Carter, I could see how if we have a concept of activism as being negative, there is such a almost soothing part of it, because we are the beneficiaries of what people have done over the years. And the challenge, therefore, is for us to use our vision, to use our sense of justice and fair play, and to allow our faith in God to inspire us to do things for the good of the whole. And most of the times, it is not to protect our own narrow interests, but more so to look at the common good, the peace we want to establish, the social good we want to achieve, the greater cohesion we are working towards, better circumstances for our lives, which will contribute not only for the good of the group, but certainly individuals and families benefit when there is the voice that says we can do better than where we are. Yeah. And in terms of the Christian faith, it is very much rooted in the prophetic tradition of the church, where we stand over and above what is happening to say, thus saith the Lord.
Yes.
Which is a standard of justice and peace and reconciliation, or in terms of the Jesus tradition, we promote love.
Mm-hmm. I keep thinking as I listen to you just of the woman at the well in Samaria, who stepped out of what society cast her as to engage and offer him a
challenge the social norm, the cultural norm.
And that's
so
the whole
did
point.
Jesus. Yeah.
And that's the whole point. So for those of you lacking in faith, a little weak in faith, or you're just struggling to understand why things exist, the lecture is important. Because I think in telling those stories, Dr. Carter, you begin to reshape our view of why it's happening. And you trigger questions, and you know that's what you do at the university every day, how to ask a question, how to find the answer. And so there we are now, when we sit with you to hear those stories, we see ourselves. We have deeper understanding of ourselves and why we're going through, and appreciation, therefore, for those who have walked ahead of us. But it also, up to my mind, inspires us to know that we can too. We can too do and make that change that Dean Gibson was just talking about. So, as the educator now, the educator in you, would you, at the end of the lecture, be open to questions and conversation with you about what you deliver?
Yes, to be sure. I mean, we can't have a lecture without a question and answer session. And we'll be open to questions because people want to say what their favorite activist, who their favorite activist is. And we can't deal with all the activists.
Yes.
So we want people to say, who are your favorite activists? What has that activist done? And most important, how has that activist helped to build our nation? And we are looking at the end product. How has that activism helped to shape our nation, make our nation a better nation? So, for example, we look at Gabby's song about the beach, and about Jack. You know the song. But even before that song, the enslaved people were also singing, and I hope we will be able to play the slave song of 1768, a song that says, look, these enslaved people are brutal, they're bad, they're killing us. And yes, there is a slave song of 1768. And what happened is that a governor's secretary heard these enslaved people singing about the master, and wrote down the song. And they put music to it. I first heard that song about 2 years ago, heard the music to the song. And that song is in the archives in England. And a lot of people in Barbados, we need people to hear the song and to hear the music and to listen to the words, because the words stress on the brutality of slavery and the brutality of the slave master. And that is important because a lot of people argue that, oh, these slaves were happy, these enslaved people were happy. Not so. So at the lecture, we are going to play that song, and we're going to trace that history of activism through song, right up to Gabby's Jack, so that people get an understanding of the nature of activism, and of course for themselves to see how that activism has made Barbados what it is today. So there are no private beaches, or there should be no private beaches here today, because that people have gone out there, stood up, and said, not in this country.
Not about here. And so if you want to hear more, folks, it's Tuesday coming in the Courtney Blackman Center, the Grand Salle. That's where it's going to be. It's at 7 in the evening, delivered by the outstanding Dr. Henderson Carter. I hope they give you a knighthood of some sort, some recognition. I am calling for it. So if I'm one who has to write it, I will have to do so for national honors, because he's the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Humanities, but he is one outstanding Barbadian who has taken the time to understand through research and history who we are, and to tell us the stories of who we are, so we see very plainly our journey thus far. So come hear on Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the Courtney Blackman Center in the Grand Salle of the Central Bank of Barbados. That's where you're going to be for Dr. Henderson Carter delivering the Dean's Lecture this year. Dean Jeffrey Gibson, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here. Just encourage everyone to come.
Absolutely. And you know I always have time for you, Dr. Henderson Carter, so come on back soon again and talk to us some more. But good luck with your lecture as well. I hope that many come and that many engage as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're welcome. Thank them as well for coming by. Now today is Common Entrance Day. Just under 2,800 of you little ones are heading to your examination center, which starts at 9 this morning. The exam starts at 9. Get there early so you're calm and you're prepared. Make sure you have your little outfit of things that you need to have, your pencil, your erasers, your rulers, all of those things. And you'll just walk calmly to your examination center and wait. Everything you need to know, you already know. The examination is just another moment in time. They will not ask you about anything you didn't know. Don't you worry about it. Take your time and you breathe and stay calm as you possibly can. And then you come out and you have a really good time with your friends. I promise you it's going to be a wonderful encounter. Don't be afraid. God is with you. God is with you. And so I wish you well today. My little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a terrific day. Be the will of the Lord. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.